Alright, we got our gasket and our new manifold in, but not bolted down quite yet. We're looking at how tight that space is between the radiator fan and the AC compressor down there. The little circle with the other circles on it that you can see right there. And it's going to be pretty close, so... You don't need that?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. I think the AC compressor is going to have to go because of the fact that... Well, actually, I don't think the turbo is going to be pointed that way. It may actually work perfect.
I'm pretty sure it is.
But the problem is that the piping is going to have to go that way, like right through where the AC compressor is. So, we've prevailed this long to keep the AC, but I think it's about time to say bye-bye to it. I think you should probably attach the turbo to the manifold before you bolt it down, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm just mopping it up, dude. Nothing's tight.
Nothing's tight? Okay. So we have a little problem we've just discovered. The AC compressor and the power steering are on the same belt. Fortunately, the water pump and the alternator are not. They're on a separate one, so that's pretty good. So we either have to replace that belt with a shorter one to make the power steering still work, or get rid of both. And not sure where we're at with that quite yet. What you doing down there?
You wanna hear some fire?
What?
We do have those thingies that Will was talking about.
What things?
On the oil filter.
So we have the little oil to and from?
Yeah.
Hell yeah! So we don't have to drill shit.
Yeah. But I just gotta find the other one.
Okay. Cool. Well, that saves some headache. Why would it already be covered in metal shards?
It wouldn't. That'd be a good goof.
That wouldn't be, actually. Because that would mean that this car wasn't maintained properly. And I'm not quite convinced that it was over the life of its early 100,000 miles. We're doing an oil change right now. Getting prepped. We're just gonna drain it for the time being. It looks pretty smooth. Pretty oily. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's a good thing. So our predicament is that the turbo and the manifold don't fit, but it's just this far left stud doesn't fit by like half an inch. So what we're going to do is, that is the culprit. That's the reason why the manifold's not fitting. And we need, like I said, less than half an inch, probably half an inch just to be safe, out of there to get the manifold on. So this power steering thing that we thought was in the way is actually not the culprit. So we're going to go get a Dremel metal cutting tool and just kind of file that away. And we're going to cross our fingers. We brought daylight into the nighttime. And you can still see perfectly. So it really couldn't have worked out any better. We went to a large store that sells many things and bought some grease, some angle grinder heads, and then also a razor to get out the carpet, and then some Dremel heads. So we're going to try the Dremel first because the angle grinder is significantly more brutal and also there's less margin for error. So we'll see how that goes. And hopefully we'll get that turbo mounted tonight. So the Dremel just made it shiny. It's time to bust out the angle grinder. I angle ground it, and we're gonna do a test fit. See how it goes. Cross fingers.
No.
Not enough or what?
The top of the housing now.
What do you mean?
Like the bottom fits now. The top doesn't fit where the top bolt is.
Huh. That was not anticipated.
I mean, you can maybe try and get the bolt out.
I don't know what else is holding that power steering pump in. Here's the moment of truth. Look at my glorious angle grind. Does it fit?
No.
What's blocking it?
That part that you've been angle grinding.
Still? Needs to go deeper?
Yeah.
Alright. I can handle that. This is my job. I can do that. We had to angle grind so much. We spent like the last half hour angle grinding and testing and testing and testing. And we have had those paper holes, or paper in the holes. And there's just piles and piles of metal shavings all over the place. So we're gonna clean it off with some engine degreaser and get to installing that manifold turbo. The moment we've been waiting for since we started this project. The true mating of a turbo to this Sonata. Will it work or will it blow up? That is the question. So for tonight, I think this may be our stopping point, and then either tomorrow or the next day. Sorry, I got my finger in front of the camera. That was pretty whack. I think we're going to do the intercooler piping, and it works out perfectly. When Steven gets out of the way, I'll show you. Down here, that middle bolt right there actually lines up perfectly with the middle bolt on the intercooler, and then we'll just have to drill new holes like in the, whatever that thing is, down there, the metal piece?
Stuff.
The stuff. Steven was calling me out because I say stuff all the time apparently. But we are making good progress. We maintained our power steering with a new belt that we took 3 trips to O'Reilly to get the right. I mean, we took 3 trips to the auto parts store, dude. And if anybody wants to pay us, holler at me. I'll be happy to rep your brand. But power steering's still in order, and we're going with the AC. It's finally done. The turbo is mounted. It's a happy day. Now we just got to get it plumbed up. Well, we got the AC radiator off. Made a little bit more space. More or less, it's just going to be weight savings because we're not going to be able to fit the intercooler back there. But less weight equals more speed. Alright, so here's our mock-up. We got these little 90-degree brackets, and we're just going to cut them to length. But just mount it like right here-ish, roughly. Put the intercooler on top, mark the spot, drill a hole through this bracket, mount the bracket, and we're good to go. So we took a trip to a rather large hardware store, got all that stuff, and we figured out that because we're clowns and don't have a tap set, that bolt just doesn't go anywhere. There's also some kind of metal witchcraft like right behind here, which means you can't get a bolt all the way through. We're gonna have to figure out something else. We're gonna try to go find a piece of metal that's strong but light enough to where we can kind of string it across all the way, and then have it like flat, and then bend it, or I guess have it this way, and then flatten it, and then bolt it to each of the 3 spots in the intercooler, and then put it, you know, top and bottom. We have a few issues, but we found a new way to mount the intercooler. First of all, that bolt is significantly longer than we need. That's as tight as it can go. Also, the hood release is in the way. Second of all, this thing that holds the bumper on, that plastic bit, doesn't fit with this on there. So we mounted the intercooler. We succeeded in that aspect, but we still have a bunch of other hurdles to go. This is how they do it if you go to a shop, right?
Yeah.
This is the intercooler mount thing.
Identical. This is exactly how it goes.
This is fire. That even looks crooked too. But dude, we have a nice feature here because
It's just gonna do that all day.
Because when this bitch has some weight on it, it's gonna be sitting right up against that. So no more clicky clacky, and it won't sag either.
Oh yeah, dude, you're right.
It's fire.
All right, put it back up.
Ugh.
Dude, I think these are caused by your finger, dude.
No way. I mean, I am that strong, but that is a glorious mount. I love it. We've completed our bracket.
No, dude.
What?
You don't even need to weld it.
It's straight like that, yeah.
Put a zip tie around it.
Zip tie it to what?
The bracket behind it.
Oh, okay.
Put a big zip tie behind it.
So, look at how solid this thing is. It goes up and down a little bit, but we're going to solve it with a zip tie, like Steven just said. This is like the best system ever. The biggest thing, like I said, is that we're still going to have to cut the big plastic thing to fit around that new bracket. And also probably the bumper. Because I think it's not going to fit quite right. But we'll solve that problem as we come to it. So we're doing kind of a test mock-up with some of the piping that came in our kit. And it's almost, let me go to this side where it's a little bit brighter. It's almost perfect. In fact, it is perfect pretty much. Because that big-ass 90 goes almost straight up through that hole that we took out the old airbox at. So you can see there's the pipe right down there. And then on this side, you can't see it because it's so pitch black. We don't have our light situation as pronto as we did the other night. that hole that we created by removing the AC lines up perfectly as well. So what we're gonna do now is we don't have any more 90-degree bends. We're gonna take that one, chop it in half, and then probably have to trim it down a bit more. But that should work, and we have another one of those too, so we'll be able to get it pretty close, and I think we'll probably have to buy some silicone hose, but we'll have to see.